Bonjour, my friends, and welcome to Soul Meets Strategy. I am Denise Frenette. I am a transformational life coach, spiritual synergist, former owner of a few wellness clinics, entrepreneur. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and all of that. And I am joined with the wonderful, well known Diana Lidstone, who is a known business coach and known for her work less, profit more approach to coaching. And so, welcome to our session for today.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome session. So, before we dive into today's topic, I thought Denise and I should share a little story because I think it really she's already chuckling. It really humanizes who we are.
You
So,
bet.
for those of you watching, if you're not watching live, perhaps you're watching on the replay. So, hashtag live, hashtag replay. Uh, Denise and I have sort of known each other on social media, but never really met or had a great conversation. So we met this spring at a women's event. And then we decided to have a couple of virtual chats. And then I invited her out to the farm. Now, for those of you who don't know, I live on a 20-acre farm just outside of Ottawa. And I'm messaging Denise. I said, it's spring, so wear your billy boots, your boots that wear for mud and rain and all this type of thing. And she's going, haha, you don't know me very well. And I go,
Nope.
what does that mean? So
Uh,
she says to me, she says, yeah, I'm going to wear my
I
sneakers.
work, yeah.
Yeah. She says, I'm going to wear my old sneakers. And I went, okay, but there's lots of mud on the trails. So
Go ahead.
no. Tell them what your husband
No,
said.
no. Oh, Jesus. Well, anyway, first of all, he goes, Diana obviously doesn't know you that well. I go, no, we don't know really each other. I don't even own a pair of whatever you called those boots. I
Yeah.
don't. Why would I? I don't hike. I don't go out in the wilderness or anything like that. I'm a city girl. And so I do own a pair of running shoes, my sneakers. And I'm like, whatever, sure, we're going to go walk outside and it's going to be nice. At least it won't be full of mosquitoes, thank God. So, anyway, so yeah, I showed up and I think I've got two pairs of jeans. Again, I know, two pairs of jeans. So I wore my jeans because I'm going to show up looking, farmy and casual. And I did. I showed up with my jeans on. They're a little long because I'm used to wearing shoes that had either platform shoes, and now I'm wearing running shoes. So they're just making it. There's the running shoe, and there are my jeans. They're just making it, which is okay, I thought.
Yes. Well, I see that we have Kim here watching us live today. And so, Kim, you've been out here to the farm in the spring, and there is mud, like mud. And so, Denise and I went on our walk, and she ended up with mud up to her, I won't say her knees, but whatever.
Oh my
So,
Lord.
the story is really you have the country mouse here and the city mouse over there. So we are similar but different. So I just thought that was an interesting story to share that we have some things in common, but we are different. So welcome aboard those of you who are watching live, hashtag replay. And I want to introduce today's topic. So we are going to have 12 conversations. This is number one. For those women entrepreneurs who are ambitious, but they're sort of caught in this, do it all boss, but they really want to be that empowered CEO. So they have this drive to grow their business. And today's topic is why your business might feel a little heavy, why you might not have the ease and the flow that you are looking for, that we all look for in our business. because we didn't get into business to slog away. We got into business to, thanks, Kim. We got into business to make an impact, maybe make some money, to influence, to motivate, to inspire, all those different things.
Mhm.
But we don't want it to be, you know, difficult. So, one of the things that Denise and I very much have in common, one of the things that we are really, really passionate about is that entrepreneurs need to be very clear on their vision and their purpose, or some people call it mission.
Mhm.
There are two different things. And so, if Denise will bear with me, I'll just share a little story about. I had a retail business, for those of you who know, for about 12 years. We sold that business and I kind of wandered, didn't know what to do. And I got into network marketing. And I did fairly well in network marketing, but it always seemed to be a push, a slog. And the truth of the matter was, it really wasn't my zone of genius. It wasn't something that I believe I was meant to do. I believe I was always meant to be some sort of a teacher. Okay, a teacher. So whether I taught horseback riding, which I did for many, many years,
Mhm.
I remember as a little kid, lining my brother and sister up in front of the chalkboard and teaching them different things. And so here I am today still teaching. And I believe that is my zone of genius. And when we aren't clear about our zone of genius, the purpose of our business, the vision of where we want to go, that's when I believe business gets heavy and we feel stuck. So I'm going to just turn
I
over here.
I I agree. I agree 100%. And as you were talking, sharing your little story here, um, I owned two wellness clinics, and for I don't know 28 years, I guess, or something like that. At the beginning, my vision was clear. I knew exactly what I wanted. I was so passionate about it. And I knew where I was going to be 5 years and 10 years and 15 and all of that. And things changed. People change. We experience life differently as we grow older, as things occur, as our children grow older, as we experience grief, as we experience loss, and all of that transforms who we are and can change our vision. It
For sure.
will. Actually, it will. And so I found myself feeling overwhelmed all of a sudden by owning the wellness clinics, by having employees, all of that felt very heavy and stuck. And I actually battled with that for years, not fully yet understanding the evolution of entrepreneurs and thinking, this is it, this is my vision, this is my vision, oh my goodness, and just really sticking to the picture that I had forever.
Yeah,
And and it took a while before I truly realized that the vision is allowed to change.
it is. It
The
is.
vision is allowed to change, it is allowed to morph. And the important thing is to have clarity on that. Because without that clarity, I believe that then you're just doing the same old. And that's when it can become more stagnant. It could become more challenging. Burnout can occur because you don't have the passion that you have because the clarity of the vision isn't there. And so, to me, this topic, this idea of really number one, you've got to have clarity. You've got to know what drives you, what is your vision, what is the reasoning behind it. Why
Yeah,
are you doing this? Because
yeah.
it's work. It is, it's work, just like everything else in life ish.
And I think you hit on something. There are seasons in our life.
Yes.
And, for me, as someone who now has a grandson, that's a different season than 10 years ago when my kids were gone and living abroad. It's a different season if you have children still at home. It's a different season if your kids are graduating and going off to university. Those are different seasons in our life. And so we need to adapt our business vision
Mhm.
to align, if you will, with our where we are in our life and what we want out of life.
Absolutely. I know one of the things that affected me, okay, is obviously everything going on in my personal life definitely made me sometimes question my vision, question my business, question what I was doing, if it was still worth it. Now, I'll tell you something. When you've got clarity with your vision, that is what gets you through the hard times.
It does.
Um, because you've got that to hang on to, because circumstances change all around us. Economic circumstances change, which means you might have to change the way your business is. We know that. We've
Yep.
all experienced that in the last 5 years. And all of these things are to be expected. And so I believe that with the clarity, with really understanding the why behind it, it doesn't make you quit.
That's
When
right.
when the going gets tough, when you don't
Yep.
have all the solutions,
Yep.
when you're in experiencing going from one season to another in your personal life, which means the business morphs or the way you approach it, it morphs and it changes. When you have clear vision, it gives you the fuel to keep on going till you find new solutions,
Yeah.
and
I,
have that flexibility.
and I'm curious of those of you who are watching, whether it's hashtag live, hashtag replay. How many of you have employees? If you could just type the word employees in the chat. Um, because I think it's really important. I know that it's really important to share your vision with your team as your business is morphing along in those different areas. Because um, you know when we all start our businesses, I'll speak for myself, we all started because we thought, okay, we can make a little impact and we can make a little money. Well, that's our owner's vision.
Mhm.
But if we have team and if we are growing a team and a business, um, yeah. So if we are growing a team and a business, and we aren't sharing our vision of where we want to take this business, then the team, the employees, really don't have anything to buy into. And I've seen this
Yes.
so often that, maybe you've got a team of 3, 4, 5 employees and you want to grow the business, but they don't know what their part is in
Yes.
that growth, in that vision.
And
So that's why you have to share it, but they also have to feel ownership in it. And when they start feeling ownership in that vision, then you're going to have employees for life.
you said something earlier, Diana, and I love that, is zone of genius. I had not heard of that term before, and I love it. And as let's say the owner, the CEO, the importance of knowing your zone of genius. And with that said,
Yeah.
understanding these are your strengths, okay? Understanding what areas are not your strengths, and really having the understanding that your I'm calling them employees, your
Team.
subcontractors, your team,
Yeah.
What are their strengths? What are you going to delegate? What are you going to give them to own? Okay.
Yeah.
In regards to tasks, in regards to what is their place in this business. And I think that is extremely important to understand as well.
Yeah. I think if we go back to zone of genius, the
Mhm.
strengths, whatever it happens to be, one of the books that I have found really, really helpful is Strength Finder. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Strength
Strength
Finder.
finder.
And it helps people for yourselves or for someone else identify their strengths. If somebody is good at um, strategic, or if somebody is good at support, or if somebody is really good at nurturing relationships, well, it's obvious then that they need to be in a position that highlights those roles.
Yep.
Uh, so, for instance, I remember I was working with a lawyer who had a team of about 5 people, but she was the only lawyer. So that meant she was the real bottleneck because, yes, they could do all the work, but everything had to come through her until she was earning enough money so that she could hire more lawyers. And when she did that, then her zone of genius wasn't just managing the company. Her zone of genius was going out there on stages and talking about corporate legal strategy. And she went from hating her business to absolutely loving it because that's what she was meant to do, right? And yeah, it was easy, it flowed. And so we actually created a high ticket offer that she sold to, and this was in the real estate investors community, that she sold to high level real estate investors so that they could get their corporate strategy. They could save money by doing that, even though they paid her high ticket. So it's really important to know your zone of genius.
And you mentioned just there, her energy changed. She
For sure.
loved what she was doing. And like it or not, this makes a huge impact, a huge difference on how people, even when you don't say a word, how people will view you, how they will react to you, is your energy, is everything about that. And so do you have sometimes you walk in a room, okay, somewhere,
Yeah.
restaurant, whatever,
Yeah.
you see someone and you think, wow, I'd love to meet her. There's just something. I think that kind of happened with us when we met in person, okay? And I'm like, okay, we're going to talk. It was instant. Great energy, great focus. I'm just saying, okay?
Thank
And
you.
then you're welcome. Absolutely, you're welcome. And then there's other times you walk into a place or whatever and you realize, you know what, I'm going to stay away from this individual. You don't know them, you don't know nothing, but some just tells you this inner energy, okay, that we have. And I mean, there's so many components to what creates this energy. And today is not the day where we're going to go into all of that. Okay. That energy is contagious. That energy can make or break your team. Okay. So
Yeah.
when you come in feeling energized, when you're coming into your place of business, which is your life, coming in with clarity, with vision, and you are excited about that and you believe in it, man, then your team is going to say, I want in.
There's
Talk.
that big
Yeah.
there's that big word, believe,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I just posted, does anyone have a question about vision or purpose? Because sometimes it's confusing what they are exactly. So, vision is, what do you want your business to and yourself to look like, feel like, etc. in 3 to 5 years? So what do you want to be known for? What's your place in the market? And being the more specific about that you can be, the better. So, it's like if somebody says, I want more travel. Well, what does more travel mean? So your vision needs to be specific. Your business purpose or mission is, why do you exist? Why do you have a business? So one of the things, I heard this years ago and I adopted it. So my purpose is that I want to stop or retard entrepreneurial poverty for women entrepreneurs. I've seen too many women that are out there banging their heads against the wall and not making any money and working too hard. So the poverty is financial, the poverty is, they're time strapped, etc. That is my purpose of my business. So I just wanted to clarify those two things because they are different things.
It is. And it's important to, again, to understand what is your purpose.
Yeah.
Because the purpose is the foundation, the ball of it all, okay, is the purpose. And then from there, your vision can change. Purpose is here, and you could change and you can realize, you know what? I'm not going to do it this way anymore. I'm going to do it this way now because I can make more money this way, work less, okay, enjoy or impact more people and so on and so forth, and enjoy going out to beautiful big cities and viewing their amazing 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
Or buying a farm and living that outdoorsy life that some people really love.
That some people, yes. The country mouse really loves that. Yeah. So we have a question, but before that question, I just want to say that when we are clear on our vision, the vision then becomes like a GPS. It becomes the filter for all of our questions, for all of, in other words, all of our actions. So does this action get me closer to my vision? Excuse me. So having a clear and written vision. But some strategies to share vision without a clear plan. So I think that's a complicated question. I'm not sure. I'm going to.
I'm just reading Kim's full comment here. Okay, find it hard to adapt the business operations as the vision becomes clear over time, and explaining that to the team. They they feel they're having to adjust, frustration, and can't keep up with my evolving path to the vision. Okay, what are some strategies to share? So again, if what you are describing as your evolvement, okay, so my question to you actually, Kim, is when you say that, and if they're getting frustrated, like they can't keep up or whatever, is there clarity as to, this is where I want to be? There we go. This is where I want to be. And there you go. This is your purpose. This is where I want to be. Now, if you're changing routes too often, that can be, to them, maybe a sign of you not having clarity, of you not being there for them as well. And so we have to be careful that, yes, you've got to have vision. You also have to kind of know how to get from point A to point B with clarity and offer a security in that. Offer a security. So
I happen to know, and I think this is true, Kim. Kim is in the process of just launching and developing her business. So,
okay.
So I think that, and she said her if you scroll up to she has 2 VAs.
Okay. I didn't yet see that.
They're not really employees. I wouldn't worry about their frustration, to be quite honest. You are expected to be going out there and validating and testing things. And maybe that's what you need to explain to them, is that you're in a period of validation and testing, and that they are to support you in that validation and testing. And once you get even more clarity, and once you get some success around that, then you can start replicating it and the ball will be rolling. I hope that.
I do also want to add, Kim, that and you are just starting. Okay, keep in mind as you move forward, nobody is going to be as motivated as you for your business. Nobody is going to have the clarity and the vision. Man, I know what I want to accomplish. I know it because I feel it, and this is it. And bam, let's do this. Nobody is going to equal your passion, equal any of that, because guess what? It's not their business. It's yours. And it is, unfortunately, your job to motivate them, to make them see as best as possible why they should be following you as a leader. Business owner, there's leadership involved. Why should they be following you? What is it? What's in it for them? And how's it going to make them feel good? And so there's a lot of different aspects to take place. So again, that vision has to be shareable. It has to want to include, if you're going to have employees or partners or a team, your vision has to be able, or you have to be able to include others and know how to do that. Okay.
So I hope, Kim, say yes or no in the chat, if you don't mind, if you're still here, whether this has given you some clarity. And it is different when you are just launching your business. It is different when you're in a different season of your business. And it is also different when you have contractors versus true, I wouldn't say true team, but a VA is, I've had my VA for over 10 years. Yes, she is part of my team, but we're not attached to
commitment involved.
Yeah, it's commitment. I pay her, she does the work, and that's the kind of thing. But yeah. So I'd love for you to let me know if that has helped you, or if it has helped anybody else who is listening here today. Sometimes, having questions like that provides clarity for other people. Clarity is coming as I test. Yeah, exactly. Yes. You're in this, what I call this emerging phase of business growth, where the purpose is to validate and test and see what works. And, then when you get more consistency in the success, then you can start rinsing and repeating that, whatever that process is. So
exactly. Awesome. It's an exciting place to be at.
It's exciting, but it's also a little frustrating sometimes.
Oh, and I mean, you can expect to be worried, to be scared, to be whatever. Absolutely. And concerned when the money's not coming in as much and all of that. So expect it. Kim, or whoever's listening in, that's going to happen. Yeah. You are not always going to have that confidence. That comes with time. That comes with experience. And it comes with, again, clarity for your vision. Absolutely. And your purpose.
And at that stage of business growth, I think people get frustrated. Women, we all get, I'll speak for myself. I get frustrated, was at a point where I remember being frustrated because you're testing and there's no consistency in income. That's
it.
Normal. That's normal. So,
it is.
Yeah. Anyway.
And it goes like this. And with a good coach who can help you understand, how to save and finances and things like that, and what can you do doing it right so that you don't run out of money, so that you are having a great profit, so that it's worth your trouble, worth your life and your time and all of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
So
business.
we're at the top of the hour, so our aim is 30 minutes.
You bet.
So I hope this has helped those of you who are watching, those of you who are #replay, that in order for your business to feel lighter and have ease, it's imperative to have a clearly written and specific vision, and also understand your purpose and your zone of genius. We are thrilled to come and speak with you every week, share our thoughts, have this conversation. And next week, we are going to talk about something that we're going to talk about: grace and respect. Now, those two words come from Denise, I'll be quite honest.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. But it's grace and respect for yourself, and grace and respect for your team, and what that means. And so we are thrilled to come every week and talk about how you can go from being this do-it-all boss, or what I call the chief everything officer, and step into a new role called the empowered CEO. So I hope you'll join us next week. Next week, I hope to have a little something extra, something special that Denise and I have been working on, a little bonus for you guys who are watching. So that is in the works. Cross my fingers, it'll be ready for next week, but we'll see.
Absolutely. Yes.
Anyway.
I want to add one little thing. So I've been, I'm going to start jumping in next week. So those were my words: the respect and the grace for yourself, for your team, and all of that, and for your guides. Oh, you know I was going to start. You bet.
Yeah.
I am a spiritual synergist.
Yeah.
I believe in spirit. I believe in energy. It rules my world. Okay. And I'm going to start bringing that into the conversation and the topic. So next week, we are going to talk about respect. Darn right we are. And we're going to talk about grace. And what does that mean, grace in business? Denise, honestly. So I am looking forward to starting to expand, whoever's listening, their perceptions and all of that. So I'm looking forward to adding my little 2 cents worth here as a spiritual synergist.
Awesome. So this has been Strategy, Diana, and Soul, Denise. So I hope you'll meet with us again next week, 11:30, same time, same station.
Mwah.
Have a great week. Bye for now.